Welcome back to Boring Gear Reviews. Today we've got the Koldwave from Freqscene Effects. Big thanks to Freqscene Effects for sending me the Koldwave. So what we have here is an analog chorus based on the Boss CE2, but it has been heavily modded and upgraded to be its own thing, and I have to say, it's fantastic. All right, for controls, we have speed, which will control the speed of the LFO or modulation. Below that, we have depth, which will control the intensity or depth of the modulation. All the way to the right, we have warp. This will introduce a delay in the LFO, which will cause old cassette, warped vinyl, detuned type of stuff. If you want that classic CE2 tone, turn it up about 5%. You can hear it like when it's all the way counterclockwise, it's off. And then right when you turn it on and it engages, that's that 5% from the CE2. Below that, we have a master volume, which doubles as a boost. So you can add a little bit of grit, driving the front end of your amp. Super cool. Next up, we have frequency, which will adjust the tone of only the wet signal. And then finally, we have a two-way toggle. In the up position, we're in vibrato mode, which will cut your dry signal so it goes full wet. And below that, we have chorus, which will allow both dry and wet signals to go at the same time. Lastly, we've got a true bypass foot switch and top jacks and DC. And for today's demo, I am using my 2023 Mule Resophonic Mulecaster. And then we'll be going into the Universal Audio Apollo X6 and then into the Softtube JMP 2203 amp plugin. All right, so for this first setting, we're going for like a classic lush chorus sound. Feel free to pause for my settings. At the start of our chain, we're going to be using the Chase Bliss and Benson Automaton MKII preamp, and that will be going into the Koldwave. So in the beginning, I'm playing a little softer, and you hear there's this very beautiful kind of slow, swaying chorus sound. You know, something he mentions about the Koldwave on his website is when compared side by side with the CE2, the Koldwave sounds like you're kind of removing a blanket from the speaker. Like it's just much more three-dimensional, it's much more live and rich, and I have to agree with that. This also doesn't sound cold like a lot of choruses can sound. It's very rich, very dynamic. There's a lot of great movement to it. Even though it is, it follows a pattern, it doesn't feel like robotic. Towards the end of the clip, I'm going to dig in a little harder so there's a little more gain, and some choruses handle that better than others. And I have to say, the Koldwave is exceptional. Whether you're playing clean, mildly broken, or with heavy distortion, the chorus itself never kind of washes away or explodes, internally where it feels like you don't know what's going on. And it also, some choruses get really, really dirty even when you just kind of pick a little bit harder, but this stays very, very consistent, which is immensely helpful. All right, next up, we're going to be in the vibrato setting. The chain will still start with the Preamp MKII, and then we'll be going into the Koldwave from there. And pause for settings. And then towards the end of the clip, we're going to engage the Chase Bliss Mood MK2 for a little bit of like glitchy reverb. Man, this sound is awesome. It really kind of hits that spot of like worn out tape. I mean, it's definitely doing like consistent vibrato work, but just the feel of it, kind of how warm the sound is, it just really feels a little more organic than some. And again, as I roll up the volume for higher gain, it just maintains beautifully. It adds so much movement without feeling too effecty. Like there's obviously an effect happening, but it feels pretty natural and like effortless. It doesn't feel gimmicky. Such a beautiful sound, the way it interacts with distortion and reverb and all the stuff. It's really, really fantastic. So enjoy. And for our last clip, we're going to start with the Maris Mercury 7. So we're going to be in the cathedral setting for this big, gorgeous kind of hall, cathedral type of reverb, and that will be going into the Koldwave. Here are the settings we're using. So we're going to start with the toggle up for vibrato, and then about halfway through, we'll switch it down into the chorus setting. What I wanted to show here, besides both of these gorgeous sounds, was just how just the toggle switch, not changing any knobs, can give you two really beautiful and very different sounds. Putting chorus or vibrato after reverb is super rad because you'll hear the tails of the reverb modulate as well, and it can feel very kind of haunting, and it adds just like so much space and so much movement. I really got lost in this sound. It's just so fun to play, so beautiful to hear, so enjoy. And that is a wrap on the Freqscene Effects Koldwave. I've featured Freqscene Effects on this channel a bunch, and they don't miss. I think the Koldwave is one of the best looking and one of the best sounding choruses, period. Great form factor, very simple layout, easy to use, easy to understand. Everything does what you want it to do. You know, the range of each control is spot on. The EQing and filtering is great. It's just a outstanding pedal. You know, it's lush if you want it to be, it's subtle if you want it to be, it can get really weird if that's what you're looking for. It just does all of the things that you would want from a chorus vibrato pedal. So I'm a big fan. If you are too, click the links in the description, check out his work. Everything else I'm using is there too. If you like this content, please consider hitting subscribe, like, share, comment. All those things really help me out, and I truly appreciate that. Also, I haven't mentioned it in a while, but I do have a Bandcamp where I upload all of the music from every single demo I've ever done. All of it's there, links in the description below for that too. You can stream and download, you can subscribe and have everything forever. It's a good time, so check that out. And that'll do it. Until next time, peace.